Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Guys, we have I would say this whole team is reviewable, to be honest with you. We're going to see how much footage we can actually collect. We did collect a lot of footage of trying out different formations and different tactics and all that kind of stuff. So for those of you that want to see individual player reviews, except for the goalkeeper, then like obviously the rest of them are going to be cards that people are going to be interested in, right? So we'll see what we can do for today. But for now, guys, we are going to be talking about a 4-2-3-1 video. Guys, let me explain something to you guys, okay? If you have played the next-gen version of the game for the last 2 or 3 years, some of the tactics that you end up using in those years that ended up being really good ends up being really good in this game, especially if you have the right players in the team, okay? Players that have pace, players that can dribble as much as possible, shoot, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be very, very important. With this team, it is really nicely formatted for the 4-2-3-1, but you do want to try your best to get players that will fit the meta of this game as much as possible, right? On my main account, I actually have Palhinha and Renato Sanchez that are probably going to be playing as a CDMs. On this account for Guiu, he has the Park Ji-sung card as well as the Mascherano card, right? Which is 2 cards that we're going to be doing some reviews on to see what they're like, right? So guys, the 4-2-3-1, this tactic is actually a tactic from last year from a guy that I actually got these tactics from, but I never ended up doing the video for it, or I don't think I did. A 4-2-3-1 I did was from a guy on TikTok, but I didn't do it on YouTube, so I don't think it's the same one. I think it's a different one. But this 4-2-3-1 tactic looks like this. I will be leaving a link in the description down below to his channel. No real point to go to the actual video. Go to his channel, subscribe, because this tactic is really good for this year's game. Honestly, it's not even like a starter tactic. It is honestly a very good tactic to use with how this game plays out in the attack and the defense, right? So guys, defense is set to balanced with 45-60 for depth. The offense is on balanced direct passing 45 and 3. You know why I like that this part right here is on 3? Because overcommitting players in this game is not worth it. It's really not worth it. The build-up play needs to be slower, and you need to pinpoint certain passes a little bit better. That's just how it works, right? So the build-up between the 4-2-3-1 this year ends up being pretty nice because, to be fair to EA, the attacking AI is slightly better this year, okay? It is. Players make some really good runs. It's not always about doing the extra pass. It's more about just finding that oncoming runner into certain areas of the pitch. Sometimes you're going to be around the 18-yard box and you literally have to go back to reset a play so that the pitch opens up again, because sometimes there's just no space to work with. But that's a tactic from the defense and the offense. The instructions is going to look like this, right? So we have stay back while attacking for both of the fullbacks. The defensive oriented CDM we have on stay back while attacking cover center. The attacking oriented center defensive mid is the one on just cover center. The cam is left untouched, so in this situation we got Bernardo Silva, which pretty decent to use in that area, and we'll explain why. The right attacking mid, we have comeback and defense get into the box, as well as comeback on defense get into the box for both the Lamb and the Ram. And then the striker is on stay central, stay forward. Stay central because of the fact that obviously when it comes to the build-up in this game, you gotta have someone making those runs in the middle to score your opportunities, right? So let's talk about the types of players that you want to have in your team before we actually get into the highlights of me using Guiu's account, which, like I said, I will be doing some edits to review as many players here as possible. But guys, the types of players that you want, I'm going to tell you guys this right now, okay? I think this is very important to mention. I feel like the area of the pitch that you want to improve the most this year is defensive positions, because the attacking positions, you can get players that are decent, but then you kind of have to work with it yourself. Obviously the dribbling is going to be a big deal to get like the full meta cards and whatnot, but I'm telling you guys this right now, getting good defenders and a proper CDM is going to be absolutely massive this year, because this back four right here is disgusting to pass. They are very solid when they are playing in the right formation. This 4-back formation with the CDM, or with 2 CDMs in front of them, works out wonders, okay? It's really good. Kyle Walker, Koulibaly, Varane, Malacia, all absolute monster players. So you want to try your best to get something like that. Obviously, you can go with the cheaper players. Like I know that there's a player like Konate, you know, from Liverpool. He's actually pretty decent, because right now in FIFA, You don't necessarily need super high pace. You need decent pace though. You need a player that has at least like a 78, a 77 with good defensive capabilities so that you can be able to outpace people when they just want to outrun you, right? You want to have that defense. I'm telling you guys, spend all your money on your defenders and your proper CDM with a medium high work rate. It's going to be very, very important, okay? So, or in this case, he's a low high work rate. So that's what you want in that area. The rest of the positions, okay? Attacking AI works the same way this year as it has in previous years, where you want certain players making certain runs. Let me explain, okay? You know how last year when I did the review, or not review, when I kept telling you guys, nobody in this game in the striker position moves like Angel Correa. Those are the types of players you're going to want. Players like Ben Yedder, Angel Correa, Mbappe, if you have him, because Mbappe still has a disgusting attacking AI. I played one draft with him. He was at striker, 3 goals in like 20 minutes. Disgusting. In a horrible draft team that we ended up losing because the draft right now is completely broken. You can't, if you play 4-3-2-1, do not ever pick that formation because there's no center forwards and there's no proper center mids that they give you. So be very careful of that, okay? Because they don't do the position change thing in draft. It's really weird. I made a huge mistake doing that when I played that draft. It was a really, really bad one. But Mbappe was amazing, right? Striker position. This one right here is not terrible, okay? But with someone like Gabriel Jesus, I do think that he is preferential in a 2-striker lineup because of that high work rate. Because when you play a 2-striker lineup, you can have the one player on getting behind and then the other player on balance. This is the balanced player with the high work rates, right? For me personally. To be fair, I have been using him in this 4-2-3-1, playing in that striker area. And he still works out okay because he kind of is like a false 9 in certain situations, kind of pushes forward in certain situations. But there is other players that I do feel like would be a little bit better in that area to utilize space. But a high work rate would not be terrible to work with. If Holland is still high, it could be something to look at, right? We have Bernardo Silva playing as a cam. So here's what I'm going to say. The high work rates on Bernardo Silva is really nice to work with. I'm definitely not going to say that it isn't, okay? It's really nice to work with. But remember last year when we checked out like a flashback Isco card and at some point they gave him like a medium low work rate? That medium low work rate is amazing in the cam position. So yet again, for another year, watch out for the SBCs because you're going to want to get a cam that has proper attacking AI. Your striker and your cam is going to be very important because let's take a look at this team, right? If you can get a left mid and a right mid, most of the times they play Lam and Ram really, really well. Like Anthony is a card that can play in most of the attacking positions, but he's mostly a side player. So Lam and Ram, left mid, right mid, sometimes they're very similar to each other, right? If you can get a cam that can play left mid, left attacking mid, right attacking mid, honestly, those guys are absolute monsters. Like I tried Foden one time last year in a 4-2-3-1 and he was pretty sick. But that's something that you have to take into consideration. So you could see with the way that this team is lined up in the 4-2-3-1, for me personally, strong foot on the strong side this year, 100%. The finesse shots, they work really well inside the 18-yard box. Outside, it's not like a long shot meta unless you do that L1, R1 shot, right? But you can see that I have strong foot on the strong side. To be fair, this balance in this team is actually pretty solid. What I will say is that someone like Park Ji-sung, right, is more of a left mid, right mid, and a 3-back formation, as well as a box-to-box center mid. He still plays the CDM position really well, but you could definitely tell that you want a little bit of extra defensive presence in that area. If anything, having a player like Renato Sanchez could be very, very ideal in a situation like that. So in my case, I'm going to try that out at some point on my main account. I don't often play on my main account depending on what the content is because this is Giyu's account and it's really good. And right now, I got him currently to Division 7, right? Because again, I play on 2 different accounts, so obviously there's so much content to be made. But yeah, we've currently gone to Division 7. Last 3 games were in the 4-2-3-1, and it worked out fantastically well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the types of players that you want in the team. Giyu even has Konate on the bench, who's, like I said, a very good option to work with. Like, yeah, his acceleration is low, but if you give him a shadow chemistry style, his body type is pretty nuts to work with in game. So definitely food for thought. Like I said, guys, defenders and midfielders, you want to improve those ones the most. I'm telling you, it's going to make a really, really big difference in regards to how your team actually performs on the pitch. So I'm going to show you guys some highlights of the goals that I ended up scoring. To be honest with you guys, they were actually pretty nice considering the sluggish feel of the dribbling, right? So it actually works out great, especially once you get some pretty decent players in decent position. So yeah, let's go show you guys the highlights.
Night for football, perfect playing conditions. I'm Derek Ray at the microphone, and joining me for match commentary is Stuart Robson. And what we have on the menu is action from the Division Rivals League. What do you anticipate seeing, Stuart?
Well, thanks, Derek. The best coach I played under would always tell us before kick-off, earn the right to play. If you can win your individual back...
A glorious chance.
Let's go, Rashi. Bro, I'm telling you guys, like, kickoff is different in this game, man. You can't go wrong with Varane. This is kickoff, so that's why he's being weird.
Mascherano. Onto Jesus. Well, they're on the scent of something positive. Can he finish this?
Nice, boys. On delay.
And Bernardo Silva has it. Rashford! In it goes! The lead
This 4-2-3-1 is flying right now. I'm liking it. Oh, Cooley.
Intercepting it. Felix. And the keeper's in trouble. Oh, and that's it.
You know what? Fair play, man. Fair play. I'm not even gonna... That was a sick chip.
Kevin Mbabu. It's with Sergi Darder.
Oh my goodness, these challenges these guys make. Disgusting.
That's an exquisite pass from Gabriel Jesus. Chance for Bernardo Silva.
Yes! On delay, boys. Making the formation move now.
On the back of that.
Like it. I like it.
Rashford. But, oh, he's through here.
Let's go, boys. On delay. 4-2-3-1's moving right now. I like it.
Joao Felix is with Vinicius Junior, being egged on by the crowd. Wow.
This guy only scores chip shots against me.
And this is the initial 11 for the visitors today. Yassine Bounou is the goalkeeper. Jose Maria Jimenez plays alongside David Alaba in central defence. Angel Di Maria starts.
Yeah, you got to go for that first-time touch. You got your striker making that run. You got to go for that first-time touch.
Story today. How do you see the match going, Stuart?
Well, Derek, 3 points here and promotion is secured. And it'll be thoroughly deserved because they've played so well in most of the games.
Anthony. Well, here is the lineup for the hosts today. Hugo Lloris is the goalkeeper. Rafael Varane plays alongside Kalidou Koulibaly in central defence. Bernardo Silva plays alongside Javier Mascherano in the centre of midfield. And in attack, Marcus Rashford starts with Gabriel Jesus.
Hold on, Derek, chance here.
Nice. Let's go, Gabi. Gabriel.
He's been a bit unlucky to concede the corner. Park. Well, space if he goes inside.
Oh, Bernardo. What a beast, man. Get into that camp possession.
Well, they've had so much of the possession, and that's been because of their ability to win the ball back so quickly. Their pressing has been excellent, and they just haven't stopped working. It's been a fantastic performance up to now.
Gorgeous pass from Rashford.
Oh, that would have been so good, man. Oh.